And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. It's Sunday night, Matt. We're back again live on Twitch and YouTube with all of our friends. It's July 4th, which of course means it's Amera Christmas, isn't it? That's the day, right?
Amera Christmas.
Amera Christmas. You'll have to forgive Matt and I. We're a little bit more international than the rest of you. Happy Amera Christmas. I hope Ted Nugent came down your chimney and gave you all the M80s you wanted. That's what happens, right? That is my recollection of these things.
I'm fairly certain that is what's happened. It's documented.
Yeah, again, if I'm wrong, and I'm rarely wrong. Did you see that new Netflix movie they put out for 4th of July, America the Motion Picture, from the people who do like Archer and Clone High?
I haven't seen it yet, but I do want to watch it.
It's okay. It's all right. I feel like this was definitely a pitch they had for a series that didn't happen.
Yep.
That's my thing. As the chat said, fuck Ted Nugent. Yeah, really, he's a terrible person in real life. We're just saying. But yeah, America the Motion Picture, it has one kind of funny conceit, and that is like, let's do a movie about the history of America, but like with just a really bad misunderstanding of history. So like George Washington and Lincoln are best friends and like buddy cops.
Yep.
So I'm like, that's funny. That's a pretty funny thing. And there's a good voice casting. And Jason Mantzoukas is in it because Jason Mantzoukas is in everything.
He's in everything, yep.
Mm-hmm. But that's what my week has been looking like. What about you, Matt?
It's been pretty good. I've been doing a bit of streaming. I started the other night Yakuza Kiwami.
Ooh, I saw, yes.
On stream, and I got I think a quarter of the way through. I just did the big funeral fight.
Oh yeah, you finally joined the club, Matt. You finally
I have,
joined the
yeah.
Yakuza club. I remember playing the first Yakuza on the PS2 back in the day when
I'm fairly certain I did as well, but I couldn't remember a thing about it.
Oh yeah, when it was this weird little import, and kind of different in the dub too, because it was the only one until the newest one, Like a Dragon, that actually had an English dub to it.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed when starting this that they didn't carry over that dub for this. Apparently there's like a mod for the computer version where it puts that in.
Nice.
But yeah, on this new one it doesn't have it.
The dub is not great as far as dubs go, but it's a very interesting dub.
It has Mark Hamill as Majima,
which is amazing casting. What is it? I think they got like a bunch of other mob movie guys in there too. The one piece of casting I love, Date, your detective buddy there. In the original dub, he was voiced by Bill Farmer. You know who Bill Farmer is famous for voicing?
I don't, but that name does sound familiar.
Goofy. He's Goofy.
That's right, yes.
Guy's been goofy for years, and like this is him actually swearing and like trying to be like a serious, hard-bitten cop, but every so often you hear a little of the "huh" in there. He can't help it after like a lifetime of goofing around. It's just stuck in there. Goofy lives rent-free in his head, don't you know? But yeah, Yakuza's great. I gotta hop back in there. What ones have I played? I played 1, obviously, when it was new. I played 3, 4. I did not finish 5. Never started 6. Haven't played Like a Dragon. And I never played 2 on the PS2, because that was like in the dying days of the PS2. It was actually like really hard to find. So I'll have to go back and play Kiwami 2. Oh, and I guess I played Yakuza 0 as well. I did beat that one as well.
Yeah, you got to give the spin-off series Judgment a go as well. I've played the first Judgment, and it's really good.
Yeah, there's going to be a sequel soon, isn't there? And there's a PC version of Judgment as well.
Yep.
What a smart idea. We have another game where you play a detective instead of a Yakuza, but it's in the same city so we can recycle it.
Exactly.
That's actually so smart. Like, God willing, they should do that more for superhero games. They should make like one really good version of Gotham and then have like a bunch of games set there.
Yeah.
Michael Rosenbaum. Thank you, Tevye. That was the other guy I was thinking of. Michael Rosenbaum is in that. Yeah, there's quite a few other people that are pretty interesting in that one. So, yeah, that's the kind of week we've been having, pretty low-key. Matt and I aren't going to blow shit up because it's not our special day.
Yeah, as well as like, I couldn't really get up to much anyway because I had a 3-day lockdown.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys are getting locked down again. Fuck, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're out of it now at the moment, but yeah, it could come back at any time.
I got to take my mom on the 6th to go get her second vaccine. She got the AstraZeneca, so she's going to have to mix and match with a second one right now. So I'm going to have to watch her and make sure, she doesn't explode or something. It doesn't become a scene from Akira. I think it's speed rules. If she goes faster than 60 miles an hour, she might explode.
The kill orders activate.
The kill orders activate from Jeff Bezos. Yeah, so, got to make sure she's okay. And once I know she's okay and I have taken care of her, I will get to work on trying to find my second one. And I love now they're like, oh, yeah, you can mix and match. You can do whatever with your thing. I'm like, yeah, but I probably shouldn't mix and match, right? I should probably try and get another Pfizer if I can.
That's the thing that I'm definitely going to be getting the Pfizer once they allow my age bracket to actually get it, which I have no fucking idea when they completely bungled it here.
Of course.
Like, it was going well at the start, and then they just, like, completely went off the rails with it.
It's funny, I was going to say that they bungled the rollout here, but then I hear American people like James Gunn, who is here filming that Peacemaker show, saying he's fully vaccinated, and I'm being like, oh yeah, the Canadian government did such a better job rolling it out. I'm like, well, I guess it's a state-to-state thing, huh?
I think there's also the fact that, like, he's, like, a working professional, like he's probably, like, at the top of a list somewhere, you know what I mean?
Think. I'm like, wait, but dude, you're rich and famous and, like, doing a major studio tentpole right now. You mean they didn't move heaven and earth to make sure you got it?
Yeah, well, again, they probably did.
The Captain Kun, Joel, they did that for Spider-Man PS4. Yeah, I guess they did. The Miles Morales game does take place in the same universe.
Yeah, but this time there's snow.
Which is actually pretty clever. I like that, where they move around the seasons. That's another one I gotta play when I eventually get a PlayStation 5. It's on my birthday list. My birthday's on the 16th there. I don't think I'll be getting a PS5, but I'll settle for either a nice new TV to play next-gen games on, or some Elton John tickets.
Yeah, nice.
One way or another. So, yeah, it's kind of week we had. We were talking before we started. This is like a 5th week in a month, and whenever this happens, both DC and Marvel kind of chill out, don't they?
They do, and I'm kind of glad they do.
It's the closest thing you and I get to a vacation, right? I love my light workload this week.
Well, it's that as well, as that it's like, okay, now I can actually catch up on comics from like weeks ago. Like, I recently just caught up on that Beta Ray Bill series.
I just read Justice League right now and just finished it. So that's good for me and everything. Oh, and I got to put up a new Capes and Crooks too, which I normally probably wouldn't have had a spot for, but I did.
Nice.
So that's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I guess we do have some news for this week. Should we hop into that, or do we have any other business, any new business, any old business?
I don't think so. No, yeah, we'll just hop into the news.
All right. So yeah, again, not much news this week, everyone. Just like not many new books. So if this show ends up being shorter than expected, that's why. I guess starting stuff up here, we have a brand new Batgirl costume that is going to be debuting in the pages of, I believe, Nightwing as part of the Fear State event. Because if you're reading Nightwing, Barbara is a big supporting character in that book.
Yeah, and it looks fantastic.
Looks great. It's a beautiful it's a beautiful fusion of the costume we all know and love her to have and the old Burnside suit. I would say this is the perfect evolution.
Yeah, I also like that she's got white eyes now.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I didn't notice that right away. You're absolutely right. That's cool.
Is this the first time she's had them?
I want to say she's had them before, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it just stuck out to me. I'm like, oh, that's something you don't really see with Batgirl.
I know she hasn't had it for a very long time. One of their big edicts was to make her, I guess, a lot more expressive and everything.
Yeah.
This is kind of interesting too, to see her suiting back up again, because as far as this, like, new era that we're in right now, the Infinite Frontier era, it looked like Barbara had settled into more of like an Oracle role again, more of being the woman in the chair. So it's interesting to see what situation it will be to force her to suit back up again.
Well, again, they've been like teasing it, because like every now and then she'll say she's not Batgirl per se anymore, but if the situation calls for it, she will, just because like her back implant thing, like she doesn't want to tax it too much.
True enough, which I'm fine with. I know, this is a hotly contested thing. Should Barbara be Oracle full time? Should she be back in the chair? Was, something lost by, having her, get over being shot in the spine and everything? Yep. I know even Gail Simone weighed in on it in a very wonderful tweet thread, which if you missed, you should check it out. She was basically sharing a bunch of memories from the New 52. And basically what they told her is like, yeah, it's a year one. She'll be back in the chair eventually, probably. We don't know.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing with these characters. It's like they always revert back to their fan favorite iterations eventually.
Also, too, someone brought up an interesting point as well, where it's like, Batgirl evolving into Oracle is very similar to, what is it, Dick Grayson going from Robin to Nightwing, et cetera, et cetera. They always take on that second form and everything, essentially. Even, I guess, Jason with Red Hood as well.
Yep.
So Oracle is like her second form and everything.
Tim with like Red Robin.
Yeah, and Drake. Occasionally. Yeah, remember Drake, everyone? Remember Brown? That's what they should have called him. Forget Drake. They should have called him Brown. Oh, no, it's Brown. So there you go. There's your new Batgirl suit, everyone. Looks really good. I wonder, will this be heralding an Oracle in the Batgirl's book? Because I know that kind of seemed to be something they teased even in Future State in backup stories.
Yeah.
That they might be getting a book. I know I've loved a lot of Batgirl runs, but I didn't really have reason to go back and check that. I hear good things about the Cecil Castellucci run because she brought back a lot of villains I liked, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to check that one out. I might have to also check out Catwoman because apparently Leanne Harper is actually back in Catwoman now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was revealed at like issue 25, and I know because I know she showed up in a Catwoman story in like the Celebration of Asian Heroes title, and I'm just like, oh well, that's out of universe. I'm sure that's just the writer having fun. Only to have someone tell me, no, as of Catwoman number 25, she's actually in there. She was another mystery character, but was revealed to ultimately be Leanne Harper. I'm like, oh fuck off.
Oh wow.
Okay, that's just enough to maybe get me interested.
That's pretty cool.
Also, that means every member of the Arrow family, minus Mia Dearden, is essentially back at DC right now, just in other people's books.
Yeah. That's true.
Man, Joshua Williamson, I see you. I see you, Joshua Williamson. I see what you're doing. I see this great tapestry.
They're allowed to use them now.
Yeah, really. I see this tapestry you're building. But we'll talk more about Mia later and how she's kind of the weird standout when we talk about what we read this week.
Nice.
I guess from there we can move on to another big story, this one from Marvel this time. Here, let me put on my best clickbaity voice. Did Marvel just spoil the death of Scarlet Witch? Huh?
Spoil it? No.
Nunny? I mean, yes and no, but also if you've been reading the X-Men books, no one can actually die anymore.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about this last week when we talked about Way of X and Sword and everything. Clearly, Magneto and Wanda are in contact again, and they're working on something. They're working on something that I am almost certain will end with Wanda back to being a mutant. Also, X-Men 3, they're fighting High Evolutionary again, who's the one who, in the new continuity, is the one who made her what she is.
Yes.
So, yeah, and also this is going to be part of the Trial of Magneto storyline, which I guess is also kind of a continuation of X Factor that's getting canceled because it's all going to be about the trial and investigation, and that's what they do.
Yeah, and again, I think we kind of called this as well, like last week and a couple of weeks ago, that this is what Trial of Magneto would be about, the death of his daughter or something. Because
it had to be. It's like, does he murder her and they have to put him on trial? Because it's like, well, murder no man, Eric, even if it's your daughter and even if it's to bring her back. I don't know. I'm interested to check it out, that's for sure. Also, this coming on the heels as well of that news about the Marvel Darkhold event and possibly Scarlet Witch becoming the new Sorcerer Supreme or Sorceress Supreme. Wouldn't that be an interesting power grab? Hey, I brought my daughter back, who I always loved. Sorry for sharing all those boogeyman stories of you. Oh, you're dead. Oh, you're a mutant again. Oh, now you're Sorceress Supreme, but I love you.
It makes sense that, like I think we even talked about this as well, where like the mutants have like a handle on like the corporation world, the economics of like Earth. They've got their own planet. What if they had their own Sorcerer Supreme?
What if we had our own Sorceress Supreme? Now we control magic as well in this universe.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting, because this is also, too, coming on the heels of Doctor Strange dying. That's going to be a big event as well. The death of Doctor Strange, I'm guessing the rebirth of Scarlet Witch. So it all kind of adds up.
Yeah.
Also kind of combines their story together. Maybe by the time Steven comes back, because he will, just in time for Multiverse of Madness, it'll be like, hey, Wanda, can I have my job back?
Exactly. Exactly. Synergy.
So again, if you're one of those people who got mad online about this, again, you got to read between the lines, guys. You got to think several moves ahead.
You got to read between the lines, and then you also got to read the comics, because this wasn't like some subtle, like nuanced, like hint or anything. They basically said this is what's happening.
Oh yeah, this was a bad week for people who don't read comments.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who don't read comics but only read headlines or get snippets of stuff from Reddit and other outrage merchants and decide they're mad about it on social media, only to be like, well, actually, if you've been paying attention, you would know.
Yeah.
But then the general consensus is, meh, we don't read comics. Who cares? I just still want to be mad about it. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's our fault, Matt, for giving a shit.
Of course, yeah, it's our fault, yeah.
It's our fault for actually giving a shit and actually paying attention. We are once again, punished for our hubris. So there you go. If you loved your WandaVision and you were waiting for when Scarlet Witch was going to get back involved with the cast of X-Men and everything, the answer is soon. And it looks like she's getting a big story. Yeah. Man, it'd be cool if she, slapped Exodus in the face for talking all that shit around the campfire.
Something's going to be building towards that.
Like, he's sitting there scaring the children, and she comes up and, kicks dirt on the fire and, punches him in the nuts. Yo, boogie, 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 Scarlet Witch, boogie, boogie, boogie. Oh, that's good. All right, now, from one incredibly powerful individual with ties to mutant kind to another, Echo the Phoenix is apparently going to be getting her own book very soon.
Yeah, this seems like something that's going to be sticking around.
Interesting, because again, with the fact that X-Men is dominating so much of the Marvel line right now, I assumed, it's only a matter of time before Hickman wants to do something with the Phoenix, right? So he's going to, want to take that toy back from Aaron, and this seeks to imply, no, we're going to keep riding Echo as Phoenix for a while.
I think it comes to that point where it's like, he could do that, but then it'd probably make the mutants a bit too OP. It's like, okay, yeah, they've got Sorcerer Supreme, all this other stuff, Planet and all that stuff. We'll give them the Phoenix and then this and then that. It's like, where does it stop?
It also makes it more interesting too, because now Hickman probably doesn't feel like he has to write something about the Phoenix and account for it. It's like, no, it's over there.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that it's someone other than a mutant getting the power for once.
It's an interesting take. I've always liked Echo. I always thought she deserved a little bit more, and now she's getting that little bit more.
Yeah.
This book is going to be written by Rebecca Roanhorse and drawn by Luca Marista, something like that. Apparently, she comes from the world of novels and everything, so this is going to be her first comic.
Oh, nice.
So that's certainly cool. I want to say this is Echo's first solo series, but I might be wrong. I think she had a Max Mini or something back during the days of Bendis Daredevil.
Yeah, I have a feeling that that's what they were there, because she's getting her own show or something, isn't she?
I didn't hear that, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, I know she's going to be a big part of Hawkeye.
Right, because she is that kind of character for sure.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I wonder if we were to go on eBay right now, what's Echo's first appearance going for? Because I fell down that rabbit hole this week, of comic speculation, which is apparently back and bigger than ever, which, really fucking depresses me, because comic speculation almost killed all of comics back in the early 90s when the ass fell out of the pyramid.
Yep.
But now, driven by all the movies and TV shows now, when even there's just a rumor of a character potentially appearing, the numbers shoot up to a ridiculous height.
Yep.
Again, I was looking at Peacemaker there, his first appearance in Charlton Comics there. Again, Charlton Comics, a dead brand, a dead company that hasn't existed in forever. Peacemaker, a character completely forgotten, completely eclipsed by the Moore stand-in that was the comedian. How much do you think his first appearance is going for?
Couple of grand.
$2,000, yep.
Yeah.
$2,000. $2,000 large for a character that they probably would have given you that book just a couple of years ago before John Cena played him.
Yeah, they've been trying to get rid of it.
They've been trying to get rid of it. Now it's a big deal. Hey, speaking of John Cena and Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, you seen that show Wipeout on TBS where it's it's a crazy obstacle course?
I haven't, but I know the Suicide Squad was doing it.
Yes, they're going to be doing it because John Cena actually co-hosts that show with Nicole Byer, and what an amazing piece of synergy, I guess, because Warner Brothers AT&T also technically owns TBS now, so they're able to do that. And so, yeah, the cast is going to be there, and James Gunn is going to be there. I'm like, that's fucking cool. And
That's
Cena's going to wear the suit.
Oh, no. Well, apparently he can't take it off. Like, no one wants to take it off of him. He doesn't want to take it off.
Well, he's got that whole show that's apparently filming right now, which means, man, they're really certain you're going to love Peacemaker because Peacemaker's getting a whole show.
Well, you can bank on John Cena.
It's true enough. How was he in that new Fast and Furious movie when he played the villain?
Hey, it was all right. You know, I was more concerned with that they sent a fucking car to space. So a Pontiac Fiero to space.
Oh yeah, that's the car you want to send to space.
Yeah.
I've not really watched any of the Fast and Furious movies since the first one, but I do love watching it from afar and hearing like, hey, it only gets better as it gets stupider.
It's so fucking stupid now.
Like, again, it is just fully embraced how dumb it is. And also, it gets even dumber, too, because, like, half the cast hates each other and they can't all be on screen at the same time.
Yeah, all the egos.
That's amazing, and yet they keep making them because they're such huge blockbusters. That's truly stunning. Also, thank God that never happened for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Could you imagine if, like, friggin' Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans hated each other and couldn't be on screen at the same time?
That would be difficult to make.
It's shocking that there's so little drama on the Marvel movies. In fact, most of the time they end up walking away loving each other. And sometimes, you know, if you're like Taika Waititi, you do a smooch with a lot of the people who work with you. And same with, Tom Holland and Zendaya. Apparently, it's not a hate factor on the Marvel movies. Apparently, it's just a big old hippie love-in every day on those movies. Which again, no wonder everyone wants to be part of those movies. It's not just for the money, but your dating pool expands. Amazingly, I can't wait for them to all come out and be like, yeah, you know, us Avengers, we're all part of like a big poly circle and everything. It's all cool. Nice. Man, how has no one made that team for superheroes, the polygamy family, but I guess they have. It's called the X-Men on Krakoa right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the X-Men.
Yeah, it's the Summers family. Yeah, we live, we love, we fight. We love again. Yeah, we fuck. We do it all, mutant style. Don't bring your weird human hang-ups to our island paradise. Man, you know, me and Wolverine hated each other forever, but you know, now we're super cool with each other. You know, Jean and Emma hated each other forever. Now we're pretty cool with each other. That's good. So, all right, our new piece of news here, and actually it dovetails quite nicely with what I was saying about Spider-Man. We got to look at a bunch of merch from Spider-Man No Way Home. See, I said it right that time, Matt. I didn't say No Road Home.
You did say it right. It's like the first time you've ever said it right.
Broken clock is right twice a day, and even I'm right once. So we got a bunch of new look at the merch coming from the movie, and it seems to have revealed what some potentially new spider suits are going to be for the movie. It seems that gold is in a big way.
Yes, and in classic fashion, it seemed to like just destroy the Spider-Man fan base.
Yes.
Like, how dare he have another costume?
It's different, so I hate it, or it's different, so I love it. Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent. Like, the main one is the one with the big gold spider and everything that looks like it turns into arms and stuff like we've seen in other movies. My general thing is like, oh yeah, it's another costume. It's a new movie. He needs a new costume so he can sell new merch that looks different than the old merch.
Yeah. I like that black and gold one, though.
That one looks really nice. Again, I feel like that's probably going to be like the multiversal finale suit. Like either another Spider-Man wears that or he needs to wear that to traverse the multiverse and go meet the other Spider-Man.
Well, it's funny. One of the pops shows him using like Doctor Strange magic. Ooh. And it's called the integrated suit. So it makes me think, oh, is like magic integrated into the suit by Doctor Strange?
Oh, very interesting. Yeah. There's definitely places they could go with that. But yeah, it's a new costume. It looks like a new costume. What do you want? Yeah,
and it's not in this picture, but they also released like a J. Jonah Jameson Marvel Legends figure.
Oh, did they? That's cool.
It looks like J.K. Simmons.
Oh, I like that a lot. That's really nice. Yeah, I wonder what role he's going to play, because he got like a very fun cameo at the end of Far From Home. So now it's like, well, what's his actual role going to be?
Just more Alex Jones, J. Jonah.
Hey, now that we know that J.K. Simmons exists in both the Sony universe and in this new Disney Marvel universe, does that mean J.K. Simmons could meet J.K. Simmons?
Yes.
I mean, I think he has to, right?
Yes.
He definitely
And it wouldn't
has
be
to.
the first time he did that, because he does a show called Counterpart where he meets another version of himself from an alternate Earth.
Ooh, I like it.
That's a
like
good
it
show.
lot.
You should watch that show.
Sounds fun. Sounds like something I would enjoy. But yeah, more Spider-Man news, everyone. I guess there's got to be like a trailer soon or something, right? It feels like
I mean,
we're
there
around
has
that
to
time.
be. I mean, they're revealing like toys and stuff for it, so it has to be soon.
Yeah, so they must be fairly far along, you would imagine.
Yeah.
Well, what was it also, too? The director chimed in on social media and said something rather interesting where he's like, look, don't believe every internet rumor you hear about this movie, but also you're more right than you think in some of these.
My dream for this is just that there's actually no like other Spider-Man in this film. It's like no multiverse stuff like this. People just like built that up so much that if there was none of that, there would be some of the saltiest motherfuckers ever.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, there's got to be something going on, or like there is, but it's a very small part of the movie, which is what I thought originally too before they started.
It's just a set piece or something.
Yeah, until they like started casting other people, where it's like, oh yeah, here's freaking what is it like? Here's all the other Sony Spider-Man, and like here's Alfred Molina and everyone else from like, okay, maybe. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Or it's a post credit. It's all just a post credit.
Yeah, just a 30-second post credit.
It's all just a 30-second post credit is all it is. I mean, it could be. I mean, like we don't know. We don't know at this point.
Yeah.
It will be interesting once it's all said and done, because obviously, like, multiverses are like the special word of the day now and everything. And obviously they kind of want to play as nice with Sony as they can, lest they, not threaten to take their ball and go home anymore. Do we think the big final takeaway of this is going to be like, yes, the Sony universe exists, it's over there, it's part technically,
Probably,
but it's over there. Oh look, it's Venom. Oh look, it's Morbius.
Yeah, they're gonna hit home the fact that Venom and all that aren't actual canon to the MCU. They're another Earth. They're variants.
Yeah, they're variants. Yeah, see, we have a special word for it now, don't we? Equal but different universes is what it's going to be. I would love it if they did it, but did it like super condescendingly, like, oh yeah, there's the Sony universe over there. There's Venom and Morbius. You don't have to watch those though. It's fine. We won't
it looks
tell.
like a terrible universe. It looks really rushed and weird.
Yeah, you don't have to see it. It's fine. It's fine. We won't tell nobody. Because, yeah, what happens if that happens, too, where they're like, okay, you're technically part of the universe now, you're over here, but what if Morbius tanks or Kraven the Hunter tanks? Then what happens?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what Sony wanted. They wanted these films in the MCU. Like, they wanted, like, Mobius and all that in the MCU. So, like, I think they tried to, like, force Marvel's hand a little bit, and Marvel's like, yeah, no.
Because they know it prints money.
Yeah.
And also, like, here's the thing, too, where it's like, look, we can spend a Spider-Man movie playing around with multiversal shit if we want to, because we know we can always just make another one after this.
Yeah.
Or, have Spider-Man team up with someone in something else. It's all good.
Yeah, and if it ends up being bad, they can have another movie, like, wash it away somehow.
True enough.
You have Kang the Conqueror or something, like TVA just comes in and wipes everything out.
Yeah, oh no, this universe is all wrong. Gotta wipe it all away and start over. Oh yeah, and there's a Silk show on Amazon maybe at some point. That also exists somewhere out there.
That's true.
Infinite timelines, infinite possibilities. Crocodile Loki.
Which implies the existence of Throg.
Yeah, really right. Now that's how we will know when we've really made it. When we get to that point. All right then. So that's all the news for this week, everyone. There really wasn't much. Am I missing anything? Am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so. No.
No, this is just the kind of week it was. It's the 5th week of a month. It just kind of happens like this sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess with that, we can hop over to what we read this week. Again, we didn't have a lot to read this week because it was the weird kind of month that it was. But what we did get, we got a lot of annuals and a lot of special issues.
Yeah.
So where would you like to begin, Matt?
Well, let's start with the one that's got everyone, throwing a shit fit around the internet, and that's the United States of Captain America.
How perfectly fitting for us to talk about this now on Captain America's birthday.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the kickoff to his big new miniseries storyline. It was clearly supposed to happen after Ta-Nehisi Coates' book ended, but they pushed that book to this month for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it starts off with Cap basically doing like a callback to the Ta-Nehisi Coates run, where he's like, hey, let's talk about the Dream for a second, because literally Ta-Nehisi Coates' Captain America was talking about the Dream like every 2 seconds.
Yep.
And, Captain America, he has thoughts and ideas about the Dream and how it's changed over time and his own place in it.
Yeah.
To which, of course, something this thoughtful and concise and, soul-searching, many outraged merchants and general people who weren't paying attention are like, Captain America hates America. No.
Yeah, no. Maybe read the book.
Yeah, no, my sweet baby, calm down. In fact, those people didn't read the book, because literally the next page is Steve Rogers saying, one of the problems about being Captain America that no one ever talks about is that people are constantly misinterpreting and misconstruing my words.
Yeah, using him like as he puts a shield to hide behind.
Yes, because, my image is so, co-optable, and people often do. When they're not selling it and commoditizing it, people are using it to attack other people. People also attack me as Captain America all the time because I'm a whipping boy for the whole nation, because I carry it around on my back, and when America isn't doing good, people are more mad at me because of that. And just a very, very interesting, concise take that a lot of people were just dedicated to misrepresenting and getting wrong.
Oh yeah, they took that like first page and didn't read anything else like past that. Again,
they didn't fucking read it. Some other outraged merchant, some other, shithead with a Confederate flag and a freaking webcam told them to be upset about it. Also, too, where it's like, Captain America has been critical about America basically since day one. Let me show you these Grundlewald pages from the 70s. Let me show you this Brubaker stuff, the Two Americas.
Yeah. At least 2 of the movies of Captain America have been about him going against the US government because he doesn't believe in what they're doing.
He mentions that too in this book. You know how many times I've been branded a traitor and a criminal by my own nation, and yet I still come back and fight for them anyway, and yet some people still doubt that I love my country.
Yep.
Yeah, it's again, so many people so willing to get something so simple so wrong. In fact, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that the actual story of the book is about Steve losing his shield.
Yeah, some mysterious individual dressed as classic Captain America, while Steve himself is dressed like Agent Steve in this issue.
Yeah, a villain who's also like superhuman because they can move really fast.
Yeah, they're a speedster. We never see, fake Cap's face. And I find it interesting that Steve is just like, well, I was wearing that suit before. I guess I should wear my Agent Steve costume now, or else it'll be really confusing. And evil Cap tries to derail a train, so Steve has to ask Falcon to come in and help him. And I love they're not afraid to shy away from the fact that Falcon was totally a Captain America too. It feels like they stopped saying it for a bit, but now they're saying it again.
Yeah, well, it makes sense because he is Captain America of the movies now.
What a difference a big popular television show and forthcoming movie does for a guy, right?
Yeah. And as well, that feeds into the backstory as well, because in this issue we meet our first Captain America of the United States, which is the Captain America of the Railways, Aaron Fisher.
Yeah, the rail rider, who, goddamn, I love his costume with the overalls and everything. That shit's so cool.
It's just shit you'd find on a train.
Yeah, and he's a queer kid, runaway, bare-knuckle boxer defending the hobos of America and the runaway teens and fighting the evil Roxxon Corporation in their work camps. I'm like, this character's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, and because of that, everyone fucking hated him. Or at least everyone in my comment section hated him.
Yeah, geez, I wonder why they hated him specifically. I wonder what thing about him they zeroed in on.
I asked like a bunch of people that because they kept saying, oh, we hate this character. I was like, oh, I wonder why. I wonder what it could be.
Yeah, geez, I wonder what it could possibly be about. But yeah, he's cool. I thought it was interesting that, they're actually in the main story, because I thought it was going to be a Steve story and then the backup. We actually get both. They're part of the story and we get the backup giving their origin.
Yeah, well, as well as that, like, Aaron is targeted by an assassin.
Yes,
some
looking
female
very
assassin.
Black Widowish.
Yes, very Black Widowish. Who's trying to kill him. So Steve thinks that maybe they're going to try and kill the rest of the Captain America's network.
Yeah, there's a whole underground network that Steve didn't hear about until right now, which normally I'd be like, that's stupid, but then I'm like, Steve has been really busy the last 5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Cannot blame him for not knowing this. It's also a great idea too, and feeds into this bigger theme that I'm sure Cantwell is going to be playing with and exploring, and that is like, hey, America is a big place. America is not a monolith, so it only makes sense that every American community would want their own Captain America style hero that, represents them and their needs and everything. I'm like, oh, that's actually quite clever.
Yeah, and it also puts Steve on that journey where he can travel America and sort of like, because I could see where the story was going. He's going to travel America and become undisillusioned. Like, he's going to remember what he was fighting for and everything.
True, which, is funny. That's like maybe my only complaint with the story, and it has nothing to do with Chris Cantwell's story. His story is, again, very concise and well told. It's just this weird kind of thing that, like, Captain America has been struggling with basically since Secret Empire onward, and that is the fact where it's like, what is my place in America anymore? Like, oh, do I still matter in the 21st century? Like, oh, do I divide more than I unite? And I'm like, Steve, it feels like you've been asking these same questions for like 8 years now.
Yeah, why don't you have an answer yet?
Can you just pick a course of action and stick with it, and I will back you in that course of action? I thought that. And then a fan in my comment section actually said something quite brilliant, and then I changed my mind, where he said, actually, Captain America being distraught and not knowing which way is up and which way is down, and being confused and wanting to move forward, but also being afraid to slip back, is probably the most quintessentially American thing right now. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? That is fair. Fair enough. You're right.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, America doesn't know where it's going right now, so obviously Captain America doesn't know either. So there you go. I'm like, when you put it that way, that is actually kind of genius. And I bet, like you said, Matt, by the time this story is done, Steve will be undisillusioned and be like, hey, I don't have to hold up the mantle of Captain America on my own, because there's a whole group of people I've inspired out there who are taking my message and defending their communities and, living my message and living the dream better than I ever could on my own.
Yeah.
And Sam is also like, can I have the suit too? Sure.
Yeah, why not? And it makes sense he would as well, because again, like in that Aaron Fisher story, it's made clear that Sam was Aaron's Captain America, and was why he looks up to, which people had a lot of problems with for some reason. I'm like, why? He's still Captain America. He's looking up to Captain America.
Yeah, he literally saved the world from the Secret Empire and shit.
Yeah, it's weird.
He literally did all this amazing shit. If anything, I think that's a wonderful compliment for Sam, that for some people, he's their favorite Captain America. Because again, there's a lot of people who only started reading Captain America during the Sam years. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's actually quite nice. In fact, I wonder if they're going to keep doing that as we move on. Will someone be inspired by the Bucky Captain America?
Will someone be inspired by John Walker?
Oh, will someone be inspired by John Walker's going to be in the book, as we've seen.
Yeah, well, yeah, this dovetails out of his Christopher Priest book.
Yes, and also kind of the end of the Ta-Nehisi Coates book, where it looked like he teamed up with Scourge again, but maybe not, I don't know.
Okay.
So we'll have to see where that one goes, and if they'll be meeting as friend or foe.
Yeah.
When they do end up meeting again. Also, too, who are our bets? What do we think the deal is with fake Captain America? Because I've heard some interesting theories.
Well, I was gonna say, first thought it's gonna be Hydra Cap, but then he technically died, though we didn't technically see him die.
No, we saw him get burnt up by Alexa Luke, and then never saw anything more of him.
Yeah.
So that's an option. Also, I thought, hey, no one talks about William Burnside anymore. The other, original evil Cap, like the Commie Smasher Cap who went crazy.
Yep.
if we're paying homage to every era of Captain America, it would be interesting to see him come back.
Yeah, it's Christopher Cantwell. It'll be some fucking like no-name 50s character that he pulled from like some comic. He did it. He does it all the time in like his Iron Man book with like the Patsy Walker stuff, and it's great. It's fantastic as well. It's like only he would know that this one character, and that he's bringing back in a big way.
What about if it was his son Nomad? Remember the one who went
Oh
missing?
yeah,
the one from
Nomad.
Nomad, the one that went missing, the one that Steve raised
Mhm.
in the
Yeah,
Zolaverse or whatever.
Yeah, in that dimension, yeah.
Yeah, who we never saw again. That could be one. Also, what about Jack Monroe, who was like one of the Buckies and one of the Nomads, and Steve originally thought he was Winter Soldier when Winter Soldier came back, but it turned out he wasn't.
Yep.
I could see that. That would be fun. Like, I'm doing something. Jack Monroe, I'm doing something.
It could be any number of characters.
Because, yeah, Captain America's had a long and interesting history.
Yep.
Someone saying, what if it's the original Wizard? Yeah, that's a fucking deep cut.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past Christopher Cantwell. He'll make it work.
Yeah, why does the Wizard hate America, though? Is it because his name is the Wizard?
Yeah.
I blame America and freedom because my name is the Wizard. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. What else do we have this week, Matt?
What did we have this week?
I had the 80th anniversary of Green Arrow.
I haven't read this one.
This is a 100-page giant, so I won't go too in-depth in it or we'd be here all day, but it's wonderful. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a massive Green Arrow fan and it feels like this was written just for me. I think this is actually the best of the anniversary books they've put out.
Really?
Yeah, not just because they get back pretty much everyone you want back to tell a new Green Arrow story, not just because they're all really different, but also because they do something super cool that I hope they keep doing. They have a whole page that is just dedicated to great panels from other runs from writers who they either couldn't get back or are dead.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like the book didn't have a Judd Winnick story.
No, nor a Kevin Smith one.
No.
Those were kind of jarring. Phil Hester pulls double duty and draws and writes one.
Yeah.
I mean, Smith, I understand he's kind of busy, and I guess Winnick has kind of moved away from comics in general now.
Yeah, but still, yeah.
Here's the thing. They do include panels from those guys. Like, in the thing, they have a big, like, collage page that's just panels, and I'm like, that's nice.
That's cool.
They should keep doing that, because, yeah, you're not going to be able to work with everyone's schedule, but it would be really nice if they could keep doing that.
Yeah.
The last story is actually my favorite, and it is a loving tribute to Denny O'Neil, written by his son, Larry.
I saw that one.
It's so good, and Larry O'Neil is basically like, hey, all the things you love about Oliver Queen are basically things that were true about my dad. He was basically writing himself for all those years. Yeah. So, like, you love him, and I love him too, and we all miss him, and I'm like, oh, God, oh, my heart, oh, shit. Like, I read that early in the morning, and by the time I was done, I'm like, why am I crying early in the morning reading comics? Fuck. And there's no words. That's the other thing. It's almost a completely silent comic. It's just, like, freaking snapshots of this man's life.
Nice.
And it's really, really good. It just, in general, is just a good story that pays homage to a lot of different eras of Green Arrow.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's a real winner.
Cool. That's good to hear.
Yeah, what else did you have, Matt?
I had the continuation of the War of the Bounty Hunters this week with Dr. A for issue 11.
Ooh, they're bounting up in the space. They're bounting good.
They are, and they're bringing back old hunters from the EU, like Dirge.
Hey, nice. Oh, really? Dirge is alive?
Yes, alive and well in the canon.
Really? That's fucking... I loved his design. His design is great.
Well, it's exactly the same in here.
I love that he's like a gross alien inside armor.
Yeah, yep. So this story is Aether and Sanastaros are after this guy who ran away from Domina Tag. It's her cousin. He was on something big. He was off to like go and do some big mission, and mission was the invitation by Crimson Dawn. And Aether and that had to go track him down to find out what he was doing, because it looked like he was like forming like a coup sort of thing against Domina. They find his ship, and they find everyone aboard has been killed. including this guy, and they find out that Crimson Dawn is like holding a auction for Han Solo and everything, and then Dirge appears on the ship because he was after this guy as well, but he's dead, so they can't really fucking do anything. At that point, they get attacked by fucking xenomorphs, like face hugger, like aliens. They're apparently notoriously hard to kill. You can't just like shoot them because they like multiply and like heal and stuff.
Legally distinct.
So they end up having to use Dirge, who is, his whole armor is like a weapon. So it's just like panels upon panels of just him blasting shit apart on this ship, and they end up Aphra ends up luring him and the aliens into like an airlock and just spacing them all, in classic Aphra fashion, of course. Obviously because Dirge can't be killed that easily, he's not dead, so he's gonna appear somewhere else in this War of the Bounty Hunters mode, probably coming after Aphra for doing that. Yeah, very easy and concise issue.
I like it. Did they ever give Dirge a proper origin to explain what his deal was, or was he just like a really cool drawing from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars?
Well, he originally first appeared in a Star Wars comic at the time called Republic, which is about the Clone Wars, and then he appeared in that series, which was around the same time anyway. But yeah, his species, what was his species called? A Jedi or something, and he's like just some like parasite type thing that can like regrow limbs, and any damage done to him, like his body reacts and saves him or something. Yeah, I don't know what it is in this new canon because this is his first appearance.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know whether he's getting a solo book for this. I can't remember. Maybe it's like a hidden book they haven't announced yet because they didn't want to spoil it.
Oh, everyone will get a solo.
Well, everyone's getting, all the bounty hunters are getting one. Boss getting one. IG-88's getting one. Zuckuss and Forloom are getting one.
Shit. Everyone will get something, and if not, everyone will get a Disney Plus show.
Yes. Yes.
This is the new era of Star Wars. Everybody getting something.
He'd actually be really great on like The Mandalorian or something, as just like a running gag as like this guy who just cannot be killed.
Yeah, exactly. Friggin' Din Djarin keeps murdering him over and over again. Yeah. He keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Just like a season-long gag. He keeps killing him, but again, this is the freaking Terminator. That's what he is. He's basically the goddamn space Terminator.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, what else did I have this week? I had giant-sized Spider-Man: The Chameleon Conspiracy finale.
I saw this on the list, and I'm like, oh, it's finishing. Oh, I should probably read it. And then I'm like, oh, it's a giant size. Oh, it's Nick Spencer writing a giant size. Oh, this is going to be a giant size book.
It is, but it's not nearly as like thick as The King's Ransom was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this, don't get me wrong, this very much had an ear of, okay, wrap it up now.
I figured because it's like the final issue and it's a giant size, I'm like, oh, he's shoving everything in.
There's a lot of wrap it up going on here. So yeah, Teresa Parker finally learns the deep dark secret about her connection to the Chameleon and the man who killed her parents, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's a fake out, but clearly Spencer had an idea for a direction to take her in, and clearly someone at editorial said no, and then he's like, okay, I have 3 other ideas, and they're like, no, and he's like, okay, what if I breach all 4 of these ideas, don't commit to any single one, so that way no one will know what's true and what's not, and editorial's like, yeah, okay, sure, fine, whatever. So Teresa is either an orphan who was adopted by the Finisher to be part of this Chameleon program because, the Finisher actually created the Chameleon now.
Yep.
In fact, he had a whole spy school of children who he trained to be chameleons, and he basically bought Dimitri from the Kravinoff family. And they're like, oh, we got, friggin' Kraven the Hunter already, so cool, he can have our other kid. It's all good. We're shitty like that. So, yeah, she's either an orphan that was adopted.
Yeah.
Finisher either saved her from the wreckage of the Parker's plane when it went down, or she's either a child of 2 chameleons that were in the Chameleon Project and only thought they were the Parkers.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, where it's like, so you took a story that was already complicated in family business involving like Mesmero and mind wiping and everything, and you actually made it more complicated. And then they even go a step further where Teresa's like, no, but I have the picture. I have the picture that Chip Zdarsky invented in his thing that proved that I was. And Chameleon is like, oh yeah, you have that picture, but if you were a chameleon like me, who's to say you didn't invent it yourself to stay undercover as Teresa Parker? And also, look, maybe I became Nick Fury and did shit, huh? So basically, they're just gaslighting her and fucking with her.
Oh, no.
And in the end, none of it matters, because in the end, Teresa's like, fuck what you guys think. You guys are shitty villains. I think I'm Spider-Man's sister. He thinks I'm his sister, so I'm his sister.
Yeah, that's good enough, yeah.
And this was also part of a securitist scheme, too, because Finisher and Chameleon also wanted to steal the clairvoyant device.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent a bunch of other chameleons to pretend to be villains to turn against the Foreigner. But he asked her to steal it while they were trying to steal it. So either he was certain they were going to fail, or he was certain of the next thing, and that is that when Peter Parker eventually got the clairvoyant back, he figured, oh, this is too dangerous for anyone to have. I'm going to give it to my super spy sister. She'll know what to do with it.
I hope people can see why I stopped reviewing these books.
It gets a little much.
Way too much. Way too much.
And then Teresa just breaks the clairvoyant device. And I'm like, oh, so it didn't
didn't matter at all.
It literally didn't help anyone, because I'm like, oh, well, he's going to use the future-telling device to figure out who Kindred is, right? Or Kindred's going to use it on him. Didn't matter. In the end, none of it mattered. That disappointed me. But also, wait, Kindred came to see the Chameleon too, because he needs a serum that only the Chameleon can get him, implying that Kindred doesn't always look like Kindred.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Which is very interesting. Also, the Captain Coon back again. I felt like this story was supposed to be like Hunted and Last Remains, but editorial forced him to rush its ending. I'm hoping somebody else does more with Teresa Parker and say she is Peter's sister. Yeah, I like Teresa too, and clearly Marvel is getting behind her. And you're right, all those others events, Last Remains, Hunted, they all had special 0.5 issues that filled in the blank. This one did not.
I was actually thinking about that the other day with like Hunted and Last Remains, actually, where I'm like, these stories are like concise and to the point. Like there wasn't any of this like long over the top sort of explanation, and like as you're saying, it's like they did this because they were doing this and he thought they were going to do. There was none of that shit. It was really simple shit.
There's a lot of cause and effect, and yeah, also too, the Teresa story and the Peter story are completely separate until the very end.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, and like they try and bring it together to be like, no, but Chameleon and Finisher were actually trying to steal from the Foreigner while all of this is going on. It's like, it doesn't really matter. I will say two things that were good is that Spider-Man actually has a really good character moment in here where he says, look, I need to save my lab partner Jamie from these villains who want him to use the clairvoyant. And I got Ned Leeds to help me because, I don't want this guy to die like Ned Leeds died under my care. And, I don't want to be kept up at night, with another friend I couldn't help.
Yeah, okay.
Ned Leeds also might be going evil now because he breaks off to try and kill the Foreigner because the Foreigner killed him originally, or at least gave the order to have him killed.
Yep.
He's also super strong now, Ned Leeds, because we've retconned that he took more goblin formula than we thought.
God damn it.
And they also heavily imply what I thought they were implying, and that, yeah, he might very well just become the new Hobgoblin for real.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is actually kind of a cool idea, though. I'm like, you know what? That's cool. I can't wait to see what another writer does with it.
Well, then, yeah, Zeb Wells and Kelly Thompson and all that might do something really great with it.
Because, yeah, it's like, hey, Peter, I was your friend, and you mourned me and everything, but then I died, and then I came back, and now I'm crazy. And because we haven't had a new Hobgoblin in a while, too, someone has to fill the costume, so why not me?
Yep.
It's funny, too, the guy who was the fake Hobgoblin ends up becoming the real Hobgoblin. It's all very Marvel Comics. So yeah, that was Chameleon Conspiracy. A little all over the place, but don't worry, because Sinister War is next.
Yeah, I'm probably going to hop on with that, because that's like the final story.
Yeah, there's some backups that like explain how Dr. Octopus goes around and recruits everyone, and he like brings Electro back to life, but none of it's really important.
Okay.
He's like, yo, I fucking found Sandman. He was on an island. I'm like, hey, stop moping and join my crew. Okay. And hey, I built a machine to bring Electro back to life. Yeah, no one really missed you, but you're back. So that's good. And also, I guess we're going to try and recruit the Lizard, because he was technically part of this too, I guess, at some point. But he's also kind of Spider-Man's
good guy.
friend.
Yeah.
He's a good guy now, so that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, are they going to do the whole split thing? It's going to be
again,
Kurt Connors and like a Lizard. You know, like how Spider-Man was split in the early Nick Spencer run.
Ooh, that's a good idea, Matt. So we can have both at the same time. That's actually a really good idea.
It's probably too good of an idea.
That also means that Kurt can literally fight his own dark half when he fights the Lizard, and if he wins, it'll be like a real good, like, moral victory and thematic victory.
Yeah.
I finally vanquished my monster, essentially.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, I guess if nothing else, it looks like Spencer's going to be throwing everything at the wall for his finale.
Mm-hmm.
Also, ChemDog, I missed Electro. Well, you should write Max Dillon, and you should tell him that you're the one who missed him. Man, I hope they do something with the fact where Max Dillon's like, I was killed, and then my groupie took over my identity, and no one missed me. I really hope that's a thing. Yeah, and arguably people liked her a little bit more.
Or I would just make it like a joke. Like everyone's like, oh, where the hell have you been? We've missed you.
Yeah, dead. Oh, it happens.
Yeah, we didn't know that. Like, why didn't you check in on me?
Happens to the best of us. All right then, Matt. So what else did you have? I had like 2 more books.
Yeah, I guess I had 2. I had Checkmate issue 1.
Oh yeah, this started this week, and also Bendis kind of signpost some stuff in it at the end of Justice League, which I read, so now I know about.
Yeah, this is a book that it was delayed by COVID, which is a shame, because it's definitely a book that has a cemented place of where it's meant to take place. Because this book features Damian Wayne's Robin, and he's not Robin anymore. But the book features Robin investigating the Leviathan stuff, and he comes across his mother, who's been sent by Checkmate to keep an eye on this Leviathan craft that they've kind of stored in a warehouse as like a lure for Leviathan, because they figure he'll come and try and take the device back, or try and blow it up, and they might be able to track him back to wherever his base is, because they can't through that portal tech he uses.
Right,
and they end up.
It's been so long, I fucking forgot that was a thing.
This book would have been better if it come out before COVID, but COVID delayed it. So yeah,
I am then reminded that even when I did remember what was going on with Leviathan and him being the original Manhunter and the Snowman Protocol and Lois's dead dad, I'm reminded that I didn't give a fuck.
But yeah, they end up getting on board that ship as like some of Leviathan's men come by to like take it, and they end up using it to like get into Leviathan's base and are like kidnapped by him. Meanwhile, the rest of Checkmate like wonder where Talia is gone, and none of them are like impressed that she's actually part of this, because again they all say she's a master of the League of Assassins. You can't fucking trust this woman.
She also founded the original Leviathan.
Yeah, you can't trust her at all. And the leader of Checkmate, King, starts being questioned by Lois, because Lois wants to know who he is, how he has access to like all this information, because he hasn't revealed any of that yet. And she rightly asks all these questions and everything, and he's just excited that he's getting the Lois Lane treatment.
So King isn't King Faraday, or is he King Faraday?
Don't think so.
Oh, interesting.
I think it will be revealed he is like a new iteration of King Faraday, but like no one knows exactly who he is. Steve Trevor might know who he is, but he's not telling.
Oh, Steve Trevor is active and stuff.
Yes,
wow.
yes. He had 2 books he was in recently. It's more than he's ever been in.
I have a rich and active life outside Wonder Woman, Sure you do, Steve. Sure you do.
But most of this book is about Lois Lane back at the Daily Planet, and she gets visited by like an old work colleague, who's like asked her like, how come you haven't like released an article or done anything about your father? He was like a patriot to the country. He saved everyone's lives. And it's a combination of there's been a lot of shit happening in Lois's life, and she hasn't properly processed it yet. Like she hasn't like can't come up with the words yet for it, but they are coming. But this person's revealed to be part of Leviathan, and she offers Lois a gift from Mark Shaw, and Mark's trying to like convince Lois to join by saying this is because in Event Leviathan he stopped everything when Superman got involved because he didn't want to go up against Superman because what he was doing he thought was what Superman wanted.
If you can remember that, it's been so long ago.
Yeah, so Mark wants to show her what they are doing and Leviathan, and once he shows her, he thinks that she'll be convinced to join him. And I think that's actually going to happen, and not because like Lois is actually going to want to join it, because it's Lois Lane. She's an investigative reporter. She'll join it undercover. Yeah. And that's basically where the book ends, with Lois getting this choice to join Leviathan or not.
Normally, Matt, you're pretty good at selling me on stuff.
Yeah,
This still sounds fucking tedious to me. Yeah. And the worst part is Bendis basically promised, keep reading Justice League because I promised that this is going to cross over with Checkmate. I'm like, no, Bendis.
It needed to come out sooner.
It did. This sounds like way too little too late.
Yeah, it needed to come out soon. And I guess it's like they couldn't do anything. Like they had all these books already done. You just have to put them out.
It sounds too little too late, and also like, did enough people buy Event Leviathan for them to continue this, or is this like a contractual thing where it's like, well, we paid Bendis to write it, he already wrote it.
It's the same thing with like I had the same thing with like fucking Naomi. Like heaps of people bought her book and everything, and she's getting a TV show, and yet people still think, oh, no one's interested in this character or anything like that. They're just doing it just to appease him, and like, well, they don't have contracts anymore, like. You know, they don't need to do it. They want to do it because it sells.
Yeah,
I guess it sells.
I mean, I didn't meet anyone who was super into Event Leviathan, but I guess I could be right in the comment section below. Tell us if you liked Event Leviathan and why. Specifically the why part. Because again, that felt like, if nothing else, I enjoy Event Leviathan for existing because it's the perfect event that I can point to and be like, so here's a story where nothing happened for 8 issues.
Yeah. Again, it was probably because he knew he was getting the Checkmate book. So it's like, I could just tell the story there.
I gotta save some of this.
This will all be like setup. This will all be set up.
It's all prologue, man. The past is prologue.
Yeah.
Remember the Silencer from the Dark imprint? The
Dark Marvel Universe.
Dark Marvel ripoff. I can't even fucking remember. New Age of Heroes, whatever the fuck it was called. Remember, she was in that book, and I'm like, oh my god, someone remembered one of these characters existed.
Yeah, and then she just went away.
Like
all of those characters.
Yeah, like Big Hulk guy, and not quite Spider-Man, and not quite Ghost Rider.
Yeah, and not quite Fantastic Four, which actually stuck around because it was a unique and interesting team.
Yeah, with characters people like anyway, and I think like Jean Lewin Yang was writing it by the end, so like they actually got good writers on it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. What else did I have this week? Ooh, I had Daredevil number 31.
Ooh, what's going on Daredevil?
Continues to be excellent. I feel like a broken record praising this book now. It's like, yeah, it's great. What do you want? It's great.
Yeah.
Matt's still in jail. He survived 2 attempts on his life. And he's actually, like, earned the respect of the prisoners now. It's like, he's pretty cool. He fought everyone in the yard and won.
Nice.
But, of course, because Matt is a self-hating, self-flagellating individual, it's like, I don't want your love and respect. I'm just going to sit up here in my cell. And, like, the one inmate who's kind of his friend is like, dude, you know what your problem is, right? It's the fact that you don't know yourself. And it's like, it's true. He doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus Christ, when prisoners are giving you a talking to, Matt, about how, like, up your own ass you've been.
Yeah.
That should tell you a thing or two. What is it? Elektra is still having it out with her new sidekick in Ward because the sidekick tried to kill someone in the previous issue. Okay. Turned out they were a hand assassin, but she's freaked out at the idea that she could kill someone.
Mm-hmm.
And Elektra's like, these emotions are too big for me. I don't understand. I'm not gonna hug you. I'm not gonna do any of these things. So she leaves, and Elektra gets mad, and it's like, well, I tried doing it your way, Matt. Time to royally fuck up Hell's Kitchen to get to Izzy Libris, who's behind all of this. I just love that Elektra's like, well, I tried. And there's like a whole like 2-page spread of her just walking up and down the street beating up everybody. It's pretty solid.
That's awesome.
Kingpin is pissed off too because he spent a bunch of money and Ravencroft resources to like rebuild and resurrect Bullseye, but he broke out and now he's just killing people willy-nilly.
Oh no.
And if people find it, they can trace that back to him. Also, it's like, well, wait, why is Bullseye just killing people? Isn't he like a mercenary? Doesn't he have to get paid? Apparently, whatever Fisk and the doctors did to his mind made Bullseye even crazier now because he's seeing angels who are telling him to go and kill people.
No, for fuck's sake.
Kill them all, Bullseye. Okay. So he's just
it's like the opposite of Son of Sam. Instead of a dog, it's just angels and birds and stuff.
It's literally that, and like Bullseye's just sitting there in Manhattan with a sniper rifle, just shooting everybody.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and we get a great showdown between Elektra and Izzy Libris, and they have that kind of like, we're not so different, you and I moment. We're both filling voids that were left behind by other people.
Yeah,
we're just trying to make the best of it and everything. And we find out the whole reason that the Hand came back at all into New York was because Izzy made a deal with them because they promised they'd bring her dead son back to life.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's sad. You're not 100% a villain. And then she's like, yeah, but I think I pissed off Fisk because he was going to give me Bullseye to go and kill you. And now he lost him. And now you're the only one who can stop Bullseye, Elektra. So you have to clean up everybody's mess. So yeah, continues to be excellent on so many levels. It's also good.
Nice.
I think the best review I read from someone else said the reason this Zdarsky book is so good is that you could separate the Elektra story, the Kingpin story, and the Matt story on their own and sell them individually, and they'd still probably be some of the best runs of those characters' career.
I have no doubt, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. We're actually getting 3 excellent books for the price of 1 that feed off each other and cross over. Yeah, no doubt.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's just that good.
Nice.
Yeah. What else did you have?
I think that's everything I had.
You read Beta Ray Bill, didn't you?
Oh, I caught up on that into issue 3. Yeah.
Oh, issue 4 came out this week.
Yeah, I've yet to just read that, but I'm up on issue 3. Yeah, it's a fucking excellent series.
It is. It's the best mini out right now. I don't know anything that really even comes close to it, but it's just that good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. If you want like great art by a great artist and writer who's doing double duty on the book, it's just excellent. And like, yeah, as I posted on Twitter, Scourge does some very fantastic faces throughout the whole series.
No doubt about it. Also, if you're a wrestling fan and like to see your heroes do wrestling moves, then this is great. Friggin' what is it? Beta Ray Bill gives a dude in a bar the frickin' Rainmaker elbow.
Yeah.
From New Japan. And in this issue, we kind of like reframed the meeting of Bill and Thor. And in this version, when he meets him for the first time, he gives him a snap suplex. It's great. Not only is it cool, but like story-wise and thematic-wise, it's probably one of the best thematic books I've read in a long time. Oh,
absolutely.
It's about Bill's quest for love, essentially, and self-acceptance and finding the beauty within.
Yeah. Something I think everyone can relate to at some point.
Absolutely. And it's also something you don't see in comics very much because, superhero comics are usually so much about, about like power fantasies and everything. And like, how powerful can we make our guy? This is all about making Bill feel his absolute worst and weakest and then having to have him rebuild himself.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
And like the theme and the moral you can see from like a mile away, and that is like Bill is moving heaven and earth, literally going into hell that is Muspelheim to try and get a blade that'll make him, beautiful again and give him the power to love himself. When in reality, if he only looked around him, his ship, Scourge, Pip, these are all people who love and respect him anyway and see the beauty that's inside him already, but he can't see it because he's too lost and he needs to learn this lesson.
But he will. He will see it.
Absolutely. In fact, again, not to spoil too much, but in the newest issue, he has that moment of choice, and he chooses wrong, but he's going to eventually be like, oh, I should have done this. He hasn't figured it out yet, but he's so close to figuring it out.
Yeah, that's got one more issue as well.
It does, yeah. It's a very short mini. It's an only 5 mini.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if it sold so good and the critical reception has been nearly universally positive.
Absolutely.
See more Beta Ray Bill.
Definitely.
Actually, hey, I wouldn't be shocked if they're like, hey, when Cates is done on Thor, would you like this, Daniel Warren Johnson?
That'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, it's really good. Oh yeah, Gamma Flight came out this week too. No, I didn't read that one yet this week.
No, I didn't either.
I mean, I might go back and check it out eventually, maybe when Immortal Hulk is done.
Yeah.
I thought Immortal Hulk would be done, and then Gamma Flight would come out next, where they'd be like, hey, don't fret, everyone. Here's, like, more of what you liked.
It seems like maybe it was, and delays and everything stopped it.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There's your comics for this week, everyone. Like we said, this episode was going to end up being a little shorter because there just wasn't that much this week.
No, there wasn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, we hope this was a show that brought just as much quality, if not quantity.
Yes.
As always, too, remember, if you're a patron, you can check out the show in audio and visual form before anyone else. We always try and take care of you. You can join the patron for as little as $1 a month. If you want the video version, that's $5 a month. I try and get capes and crooks up there and any other stuff that I can.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, for the donations this week.
Yeah.
They're always appreciated. Captain Kund there with the donations.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna actually be able to get that money at some point and see what it's like. It's a great way to support the show if you're not a patron already. Thank you to Wild Bill Soda, yet another one of our sponsors. I know you guys have been going out there and buying it with our promo code Cape Joel, getting yourself 10% off in these hot summer months when a drink is nice. We actually got a payout from them just recently, so that felt good.
Very nice.
That definitely felt nice. So thank you again for that level of support. And just, thank you in general for sticking with us and everything. We hope you can make your viewing experience that much nicer during these hot summer months. Some of us who are in quarantine still, some of us who are not. This that brings us all together.
Yeah.
All right, then I guess we can start winding the show down then. Shorter one this week, everyone. But hey, we hit a full hour, so I feel good about that.
Yeah, it's not too long from when we usually stop anyway. So.
Yeah, not an unsubstantial show. So thank you, everyone. We'll be back again next week, same place, same time, on both Twitch and YouTube. So be sure to keep your eyes open for that.
Yeah, catch you later, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.